To be on the lookout. They have had flyers circulating around those American agents who work the Mexican border to see if they are indeed trying to cross southward. I want to bring in Larry Levine. I told you about Larry about 30 minutes ago, the former federal inmate, founder of Wall Street Consultants. Joining him as well, Joey Jackson, our criminal defense attorney, HLN legal analyst. Larry, back to you. I wanted to ask you a question about whether inmates talk all the time about escape plans, what they would do, where they would go, how far they would go. Are you able to give me any insight at all as to these kinds of conversations and what the impetus would be for two guys who got free and have 12 days now? Would they stay close, hunker down, or would they get as far away as they could on those high-speed areas of egress that were just mentioned?
Well, of course, you know, they had a seven-hour head start. These cops really, other than maybe congratulating themselves for working with each other, they have nothing, and they've said that. They ought to be spending their time looking instead of going on TV. But inmates in an institution, everybody's thinking of escaping. I used to watch people walk the fence line. People would take their watch and they would time how long it would take for the perimeter trucks to go around the institution. That's the main thing on everybody's mind. How do I get out of here? And they're not looking at the ramifications if they do escape. Their one thing is get on the other side of the fence. So, 7-hour roughly head start. These guys are gone. With all the resources they have there and they've had there, if they were around the perimeter of the institution, I don't know, a 3, 4, 5 mile area, they would have found them by now.
But
yeah,
Larry,
they
are
are
you
probably.
Saying, I just want to interrupt you, because are you saying that in those conversations that you overheard many times as a federal inmate yourself, when prisoners talk about escaping and that they plot all the time, that they are not really planning what happens when you do get on the other side of the wall, that they are not saying, I'm getting a train, I'm getting someone to meet me, and I am going to such and such a place or such and such a country?
No, it's a pipe dream. Everybody's fantasy is escaping. You know, a lot of people, they want to go. They don't tell other inmates. A weak link in the whole system is going to get somebody captured. And it's ironic, probably after I say this now, every warden in every prison is going to go to the law library. They're going to take the telephone books out of the law library, and they're going to tear the maps out of them. So essentially, the institution is giving inmates maps of the surrounding area. Gee, now we can plan our escape. But inmates, they're not going to tell other inmates what they're doing, because in every institution there's informants, rats, snitches, call them what they are, that are looking to just run to the authorities, give them information, possibly hope to get time knocked off their sentence. Hell, maybe even extra telephone calls, extra food, extra visits, something.
It's currency,
so I don't really think these guys confided in other inmates what their plans were.
Well, hold that thought, Larry. I want to get Joey on that. What Larry is saying is they don't share this information with other inmates. They may fantasize all they want, walk those fence lines to find a way to get out. But right now, the New York Times was just talking about how Clinton is on lockdown. Families can barely even speak to those. There is undoubtedly a squeeze for information. The authorities have even hinted that they think there are other accomplices.
100% there's a squeeze. And the other thing is not so much that they will give information. They may have even given affirmatively misinformation to other prisoners there so that they can put out a trail that would be a tip, but would be a tip that was followed to get them, that is the authorities, to look in places that they don't intend to be. And so the reality is that not, you know, look, you tell an inmate something, the majority snitches, you know, end in ditches. We've heard all of that. They don't speak. But there are those, as Larry speaks to, who can get benefits inside a facility by cooperating with the authorities. So if you plan an elaborate escape, maybe you tell a couple of close friends, hey, I know these people, and you know what? These inmates are known to associate with a few of those guys. So you tell people who people in the prison know that you speak to, but you give them the wrong information. And that's something that they could have done too.
Throwing them off the trail and making it go cold. Larry Levine and Joey, thank you both. I really appreciate it. Again, that update in the news, not much of an update. Sorry, can't give you much other than we don't have them. We're looking farther afield at this point, and Joyce Mitchell has a new place to call home, and it's about a 140-mile drive from where her husband is, if he's going to be visiting her anymore at all, given the fact the reporting on the murder for hire plot was discussed between Mitchell and between these two inmates, as just confirmed by the DA. It's anybody's guess. Coming up next, not only is Rachel Dolezal denying that she's white, now she's even casting doubt on whether her white mom and her white dad